Hey, now we're in the downstairs, so this is where the bedrooms and the living space is. You'll notice that this is actually the glass wall I talked about before when we were on the outside. Again, one of the challenges is a space like this could sort of seem dark and dank, so you want to create as much daylighting opportunity as you can without compromising the envelope. As you can see, this is a really light room. There are no lights on in here. This is just sort of the daylighting coming in through the glass wall that creates a nice effect of daylight coming in without compromising privacy and without compromising the envelope. So this is the lower space. We've got bedrooms here. I'll let you have a peek into our guest bedroom. Our guest was not all that neat, so it's a little bit messy, but you're going to notice that there's the Tron wall. The Tron wall goes through the whole lower part of the house, so it's on the second story and the first story of the house, and you'll notice that there's glass there as well in the upper and lower parts that used to allow circulation, but now it's blocked off to allow the collection of that passive solar energy. We'll go down here through the hallway into our laundry space. Come on in here. And this laundry room kind of violates one of the rules that we've talked about in terms of envelope design because it's actually separately insulated. So there's insulation on the ceiling and walls all the way around in this laundry room from the rest of the envelope. And the reason for that is I wanted to be able to isolate it so that we didn't have to keep it hot and cold all the time. What I mean is in the summer, if we don't want to air condition this laundry space, we don't necessarily have to do it. And there's Ben presenting one of our other green features, which is these dog doors. Now, a dog door itself is nothing special, but on the other side of that dog door is another airlock with another dog door insulated to R22. So again, you don't want compromises in the envelope, so the dogs don't just go in and out of a regular dog door, which could make a room freeze, but they go through their own airlock. But as you can see from Ben's performance, they can go in and out as they like. And again, this also allows me to not air condition this as much in the summer or maybe not heat it as much in the winter and save money there. Because after all, does your laundry room really need to be as cool as the rest of the house or as warm as the rest of the house? Let's go into the mechanical space over here. This is the mechanical room. This is where we have the geothermal system. This is a 2-ton geothermal unit with a closed 200-foot loop on the outside that feeds it. 2 tons is tiny. 2 tons is only twice the size of the little unit that we use for our lab exercises in the sustainability lab. But it's plenty for this house because this house is so tight that that's really all the supplemental heating and cooling we need. One of the nice things about the design of this house is all the ductwork goes through the floor. So we're now on the ground floor, and of course there's the second floor, and the space between them is where all the ductwork goes through, which means that any loss through the ductwork still is within the envelope. I'm not redirecting that heated or cooled air out into an uninsulated attic or a basement or something like that. We then have a tanked water heater. The tanked water heater isn't a separate heater, actually. It's just for the de-superheater of the geothermal. So you remember that passive solar batch heater on the roof? The water comes out of our well, goes into that heater. If the sun's shining, that warms the water up. After it's been warmed up there, usually to about 75 or 80 degrees, it comes down here and goes into this tank. If the geothermal system is on, and there's excess heat. Now, in the winter, there's sometimes excess capacity, so it'll dump some of that capacity into the water. But in the summer, it's taking heat out of the air. So it's got all kinds of extra heat, which it dumps into this tank. And that's all the water heating we need. So essentially just excess waste heat from the geothermal system. But if that's not quite enough, then we've got this on-demand electric water heater. Water comes in here from the de-superheater tank and gets heated by 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these resistance cells. This is actually really nice because it can add just the amount of heat we need. We thought about using a gas water heater, but one of the problems with that is you really can't just add 2 or 3 degrees of temperature rise. This is nice because with the preheating we have, we may get water that's coming in at 105 degrees and really only needs a few degrees of heating before it's ready for use. This will allow for those few degrees of heating. So the whole system uses as much surplus waste heat as possible before it uses as little electricity as possible to actually heat the water. That's it for down here.